In a major concerning security breach this morning, schoolies are reportedly turning to the black market to sell their official event wristbands for hundreds of dollars.
Let's get today's take on this with Nova's Michelle Stevenson and editor of The Flash, James Lord. James, guess who's buying them? Toolies.
I know, right?
So these wristbands can end up in the wrong hands, and they are ending up in the wrong hands. Schoolies started out as a bit of a A+ from the cops, and it's really gone down to a C-, and they're set to fail.
Well, that's it.
Very all right, Mr. Campbell. Very good.
We like that. Yeah, so obviously these wrists are like, they actually are only available to people who are a genuine school leaver. And so, yeah, they're being sold to people who are older. And the cops consistently are saying that it's the toolies that are causing the most problems. So there have been 67 arrests in the first 3 days. Only 18 of those people are genuine schoolies. The rest are older. So that's like 3/4 of the people doing the wrong thing are the toolies. I just think it's so embarrassing. Like,
so embarrassing.
Why would you show up? Like, you're a creep if you go and you're not 18.
You know, as if there isn't enough to worry about for the parents of schoolies, you know, just in general, to hear this as well. It'd be a big worry.
It'd be a massive worry, but I just never had this growing up. I didn't have schoolies growing up. So to me, it's like it's a whole new thing. Like, I don't understand it. I feel like it's getting too big. It's turning into like Florida, like where, you know, this whole like
Spring break
idea. I think at what point does it become too much? Like the wristband idea, of course they were going to sell them. This was always going to be a thing that they did. And now the police have said that, you know, they're checking the wristbands. They can tell if they've been tampered with. But I think at what point do we just say enough is enough? Maybe let's just rein it on back?
No,
I don't know if that's possible, but then how do we
Yeah.
get, if that's not possible, then how do we get the message out, James, to schoolies? You know, they have every right to go do this. It's being supported by the government and local businesses to say, you can't, please don't do this. You know, how do we get that message of safety back in there?
Well, I actually think that these kids are pretty smart. Like, I think that they probably know who to look out for. I think they probably can tell a toolie from a schoolie. I think that there is a lot of support there. You've got the Red Frogs. You've got, like, loads and loads of cops there. So I actually don't think it's as dangerous as perhaps you think, Michelle.
No, I don't think it's
because
dangerous.
It's concentrated.
I just know that from a female perspective, like all I had to contend with when I was, you know, around 18 was alcohol. But they have drugs as well. And I know females can get themselves in positions of vulnerability. And I feel like if there's people who are older can really take advantage of that.
I think, though, it's so concentrated on the Gold Coast. There are eyes everywhere. You've got police, you've got extra security. Everything is so well managed. It's probably the safest place for someone to go to schoolies. I went to the Gold Coast for schoolies. The worst thing that happened to my group of friends was my girlfriend burnt her eyeball with a curling wand on the first night and had to wear an eye patch for the
patchy.
whole I mean, I do acknowledge that there obviously are going to be problems, but when you've got an event on that scale, of course there are going to be a handful of issues along the way. I think I'd almost rather send my kids to a place where you know there is that level of security.
See, maybe I feel like the old person over here. Like, it's just like,
I'm with you. I'm going to bribe my kids not to go.
Yeah, same.
I'll pay you not to go.
I will take you on an overseas trip. I'd like you're not going. I don't know, for me...
That'll only make them want to go more.
I know.
Yeah, I know. That's my fear.
Yeah, totally.
But what about banning it? There was calls to ban it. Is that really a thing, James?
No, I think that the kids deserve to like let their hair down, especially with the pressure that we put on them these days with the HSC. Again, it's nothing like the pressure I got when I was at school. Like,
you were a boy.
You expected to do well, and I'm a boy. But you know, now like it's like the be end and end all for kids. So I think that they deserve to have a few drinks, and I think that the Gold Coast does do a good job at keeping it safe. The place is crawling with cops. So, you know...
Look, I don't think it should be banned. I feel like I'm like the fun police over here.
Stop ruining the fun.
Oh my God, how did I become this person?
All right,
I am fun, people. I am fun.
You went to Byron Bay in the mud.
I am Splendor in the Mud. I did Coachella, all right?
You're cool.
All right, you've proven you're cool. You can totally drink at Mum's house. She's like a cool mum.
Just beware the curling wand.